Hi everybody, how was my last tutorial part about the different parts of the house in the German language? Do write your reviews in the comment section. Now in this tutorial part, I will show you some adjectives that can be used to describe the house, and also I will show you some general vocabulary related to the house. So before watching this tutorial part specifically, please do check my tutorial 9 on numbers in the German language and tutorial 12 on the different furniture items in the German language, and also how those furniture items can be described using some adjectives, which I'm going to repeat also in this tutorial part. So let's have a look. Das Haus, die Wohnung, the apartment. But there is another term for the shared apartment in German, which is die Wohngemeinschaft. And when describing either of these three types of accommodation, describing something is in German beschreiben. This is a regular German verb, so I can say ich beschreibe das Haus. Oder die Wohnung. So I can say das Haus or die Wohnung or die Wohngemeinschaft ist groß, or I can use this adjective and say das Haus, die Wohnung or die Wohngemeinschaft ist klein. Big, small. Then for either of these types of accommodation, I can say that they are expensive, teuer, billig or billig, because words in German ending with ig can have the ig or the ish pronunciation. Preiswert. So the house, the apartment or the shared apartment can be expensive, cheap, or worth the price. Preiswert. Meaning that even if it is a bit high, but still it is worth the price. Das Haus, die Wohnung, die Wohngemeinschaft ist neu, or I can say ist alt, new or old. Instead of new or old, I can use some other adjective like Das Haus oder die Wohnung oder die Wohngemeinschaft ist modern, or I can say ist unmodern. So modern or not modern. Or you can just use modern and the adjective that I just showed you, alt. Möbliert or unmöbliert. So they can be furnished or unfurnished. Ordentlich, unordentlich. Tidy, untidy or messy. Gemütlich, ungemütlich. Comfortable or cozy, not comfortable or not cozy. So moving on. Now let's have a look at some general vocabulary or vocabula related to these types of accommodation. So there is der Mieter, who is the male tenant, or die Mieterin, the female tenant. Der Vermieter, the male landlord or person who is renting. Die Vermieterin, the female person who's renting, the landlady. Now, if you want to say that you are searching for a house, an apartment, or maybe individual room, the verb suchen is used in German, which means to search. Suchen is a regular German verb, and so in a sentence, ich suche ein Haus, eine Wohnung, eine Wohngemeinschaft. So here I've used the indefinite articles in this sentence. Suchen, even though it is regular in its conjugation, but it also uses the accusative German grammar case. Just like the verb beschreiben that I mentioned a bit earlier on, anbieten is to offer. So it will be the landlord or the landlady offering you the house or the apartment. Anbieten is a regular German verb, but it is also a separable verb. So the an part will separate from bieten and come at the end of the sentence. Or you can simply find somewhere a board on which it is written that the house or an apartment or a room is for rent. So for rent would be zu vermieten, because the verb here, vermieten, means to rent. So you could find a board saying Haus zu vermieten, Wohnung zu vermieten, Zimmer zu vermieten. It is also a regular German verb, so if I'm a landlady renting any one of these accommodations, I can say Ich vermiete ein Haus or Ich vermiete eine Wohnung. Then there is the rent, which is die Miete. And associated with the rent come some adjectives hoch or niedrig or niedrig. Hoch means high, niedrig means low. Viel or wenig or wenig. A lot, little. So in a sentence, die Miete ist hoch, so the rent is high. Die Miete ist viel. The rent is a lot. Then there are usually some additional costs, maintenance costs, or just the costs that come with the rent. Those additional costs are Nebenkosten, and they can be for the electricity, the water, or the gas. So these can be part of the rent, or they can be just additional costs. Note here that the preposition für, which means for, is an accusative preposition, so it will always use the accusative grammar case, which means that the articles of masculine nouns, which in this case is Strom, will change from der to den, but the articles of the neutral nouns Wasser and Gas remain the same. So if you hear the question wie hoch ist die Miete, it is how high is the rent, to which you can answer using these adjectives that I just mentioned, or even using some number in German. Or the question asking for the rent can be wie viel ist die Miete? How much is the rent? Again, can be answered with the adjectives or an actual number. So that was all for today. Any questions related to this whole tutorial, you can ask in the comment section. I hope you like my videos and do continue watching the tutorials. Also, do not forget to subscribe to German Tutorials for Beginners and share my channel's name, link, and the username German by Rabia with your friends. Thank you.